summer holidays are over, and I thought it would be nice to push this drawing a little bit further. I really want it to be finished, but it isn't finished yet. So let's keep on going. Add more color. If you look here, there's almost no color here, so I really have to add some color there. And why not use this one? Bruinzeel Design Natural Sienna from my very first, well, call it professional colored pencil set. I'm not using them that often anymore because I have so many beautiful pencils, and many of them I received as a gift from you. So I now have my Bruinzeel pencils. That was a gift too, actually. I received them from my parents. And I was already an adult, and I was, how do you say that? I finished my engineering study, architectural engineering, and they asked me, what do you want to have? And I said, I want colored pencils. So they gave me a set of these beautiful Bruinzeel pencils. But after that, you spoiled me, and I received Prismacolor pencils, Prismacolor Premiers. I received Erotitan pencils. I received Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. Ooh, very, very beautiful. I received Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. I received a tin of Derwent Color Soft, Derwent Inktense, very nice. I received Lyra Rembrandt, great surprise. Lyra. I was thinking about how to pronounce. In these videos I pronounce everything in the, let's say, American way. But you know, if it's a German brand, why not just try? Why won't I try to pronounce it the German way? And if it's a French brand, so I'm going to try to pronounce it in the right way. So Lyra Rembrandt. That was a great surprise. Beautiful pencils. So you spoiled me, guys. And then you spoiled me with a lot more. Coloring books, encyclopedia, and stuff that I would never buy myself, but you did. For example, the Derwent electrical eraser. I would never buy that myself. But then a lovely lady from Israel sent it to me, and that eraser turns to be one of my best friends. Great, great tool. So yeah, I have so many pencils and books and equipment that I sometimes, it's hard to use it all, so I have to switch once in a while. So you might think that I'm satisfied with the amount of art supplies I have right now. But there's always that wanting to have more. I'm sure you can relate to that. So, I bought something. It's not here yet, it's on its way. It's something for watercolor painting. And as soon as it gets here, I will show you what it is. So I'm just layering a soft layer of this natural sienna. And then I will darken the twigs of this, I think, rose bush. Well, it has thorns, but no roses. Summer holidays are over. We came back from a wonderful trip to Switzerland. And we saw so many beautiful things. We had this apartment, and from our balcony we had a great view over towards the cliffs. There are high cliffs, 900 meters high, so that's 2,700 feet. I feel like I want to use different pencil brands today. Let's do Prismacolor Premier Black Raspberry to add a darker tone. I'm using a light touch because Prismacolor sometimes refuses to allow other pencil brands to be added on top of it, so I'm using a very light touch. Yeah, in Switzerland from our balcony we had a great view on the cliffs, and at the bottom of the cliffs in the valley where we were, there were a couple of meadows. And one night I was sitting on the balcony, my husband as well, and I was looking at the cliffs, and I'm always looking at meadows wherever I am, because you never know if you're going to see a deer or something else. And suddenly I saw a black spot moving around on the meadow. It was far away, so I couldn't see with the naked eye, but I had my binoculars with me. And at first I didn't know what I was looking at, and then I saw this animal, and it had a large tail with a white tip. And then I knew I'm looking at a red fox. And I was very excited. because red foxes don't show themselves that often. And this was actually in broad daylight. It was light. It was in the evening. So I kept looking at the fox, and then after a while I was looking again at the meadow, and then I saw another black spot. And well, looking through the binoculars again, and there was a second fox. Now, I'm not... Oh, my camera is about to... my camera is doing strange things. Anyway, there was this second fox with the beautiful white tip on the tail. And this was quite extraordinary, I believe. I don't know much about Swiss wildlife, but seeing two foxes in one close to each other is, as far as I know, very rare, in the Netherlands at least. But then I found a third spot moving around, and there was the third fox. I couldn't see if there was a baby fox, one of the three foxes. Two of them seemed to be to know each other. They stayed close to each other and greeted each other. The third one stayed away from them. But they've been on the meadow for a very long time, and they were there to, I think, to do some mice hunting, because the meadows, when we were there, people were busy mowing them. This is dark green, also Brownsale. And I think with the grass and the weeds and the flowers and all the stuff that is in the alpine meadows being cut short, being mowed, it is easier for the foxes to find mice. And I think that is what happened. They came out to hunt some mice. It was a beautiful sight, and the foxes came back a couple of days later, but then they were not with the three of them. Here's the black raspberry. But I've seen the foxes later in the vacation. It was very, very beautiful. Okay, I'm now going to give this branch a touch of a light color. Here is my Derwent electrical eraser, my best friend. When you were not watching, I was testing something, but don't feel happy with it, so let's remove it. I accidentally took a little bit of the shading here. Now, that is no problem. Oh, here's a grey pencil. This is cold grey number 4, but you can take any grey. Up. And this is Payne's grey. There we go. Let's try this one, Natural Sienna. just a light touch of it. Yeah, this is good. You know, these Bruinzeel pencils are so good for layering and blending. Let's add a touch of dark green, just a touch here and there. If you ever have the opportunity of visiting Switzerland, I can really recommend it. I've always been interested in national parks, and there are natural parks in Switzerland, but as far as I know there is only one national park or none at all. But I think that is because you could designate the complete country to be a national park. It is of extreme beauty. As long as you like mountains or lakes, there are beautiful, beautiful lakes. This is one of my favorite Prismacolor colors, Tuscan Red. And I'm using it right now because I want these branches to pop out a little bit. And you know, warmer colors like reds trick your eye and make your eye believe that it is closer to you than what is next to it, or in this case behind it. So you are creating the illusion that there is depth in this drawing. Here, this is not Joanna Besford drew this little branch, but it's going nowhere. You see? Little mistake. That happens to me all the time when I am drawing. It's very easy to forget to, in this case she has to trace all the lines that she designed with ink, and it's very easy to forget a couple of lines. It happened to me as well in the Color Along project. When I start coloring, then I suddenly discover that I am missing a couple of lines. This looks much better. Now, the shaded areas here next to the door on the right are very dark. That indicates that there is quite a bright sunshine. Now here with the branches, you can see that the shading is quite light, and I have to darken that to match the door. And again, Prismacolor Premiere. I'm in a Prismacolor mood today. 90% cool grey. These Prismacolor pencils are quite fragile. The tips break easily. You have to be careful with sharpening. I always want to say shaving. That's something else. Anyway, I haven't had much trouble lately because I have had these pencils in direct sunlight for months, so they warmed up, and I had already read that some people put their Prismacolor pencils in the oven for heating, so that the wax, the leads inside the pencil will melt a little bit and then become one piece again. So I thought, well, I'll put them in direct sunlight for weeks or months, I think. And since then I have had no trouble. Maybe it is coincidence, but so far it seems to work. Ew, this one needs a little bit of shading as well. It's also very easy to forget shading. Like here, these leaves have a little bit of shading as well. They cast a shade on the wall. I started reading a biography of a Dutch artist, a watercolor artist. Her name is Marjolein Bastin. And many people all over the world know her drawings because Hallmark, the greeting cards company, has a lot of cards with her paintings on it. And she paints a lot of stuff from nature. Flowers, birds, bees, acorns, whatever, and anything. And I bought her biography because I wanted to know. She's very successful, and I wanted to know how she works. And well, I thought maybe I can learn from her. In that biography, she tells that a drawing, a painting, takes her 45 to 60 hours. So she needs 45 to 60 hours to make a drawing or a painting. So I could relate to that. And because I am, it takes me similar amounts of time. And I think watercolor, she's working with watercolor, is a little bit faster than colored pencil. So I think when I need 90 hours, sometimes I need up to 90 hours to finish a drawing. I think that's quite normal, actually, reading her story. The writer of the book also wrote that Marjolein Bastin often works 12 hours a day. She's painting 12 hours a day. I don't do that. And I don't think I will ever do that. Although I love it, there are other things that I like doing too. And, you know, this house needs to be cleaned, the laundry needs to be done, we have to cook, groceries have to be done. So, no, that's not happening. But her 12 hours of work a day, I think it is a great contribution. That is the basis of her success. I'm sure about that. She is so hooked on painting. She has 5 houses. Goodness. All over the world. A house in the Netherlands. 2 houses actually. A house in Switzerland. There's a house in the United States, and there is a house on the Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands? Don't know how we say Cayman, but I think it's Cayman in English, but so she became a wealthy woman. And all that by spending 45 to 60 hours on a drawing. There is hope for me. I have to admit, those shadings, the shadows of the branches, they are not correct everywhere. But I'm not going to erase things, and because I will ruin the drawing then, so I will leave it. And I think, well, maybe it's not that important. It's not a photograph anyway, so. This looks much better, I think. If you are wondering how long is this going to take, I honestly can tell you I don't know. So I will continue this drawing, and in the next episode I think I will do something about those candles. That is the interesting thing, because candles are most beautiful when it's dark, and here I have bright sunshine, so that's a challenge. Well, see you in the next episode. Bye bye.